A 7-year-old girl asked a rich stranger for help, unaware he was her father. The girl stood very still near the edge of the big street, holding a thin plastic bag with both hands. The bag cut into her fingers, but she did not let go. Cars moved fast in front of her, loud and angry, like they did not care if she was there or not. She was small, only 7 years old, and the wind pushed her dress against her legs. Her name was Lily. She looked down at her shoes. One shoe had a loose strap. Her mother had tried to fix it with tape last week. The tape was already dirty and half gone. Lily pressed her toes together, feeling the cold through the thin sole. She did not like standing here, but she did not know where else to go. Behind her was the old bus stop. The bench was broken on one side. Someone had written on the metal wall with a black marker. Lily could not read all the words, but she knew they were not kind. She had learned that from the faces of adults when they saw the words. Inside the plastic bag were two things. One was a small bottle of water. The other was a folded piece of paper. Lily touched the paper with her thumb again and again, as if touching it could make it stronger. Her stomach hurt. It had been hurting since morning. She had eaten a piece of bread before leaving home. Her mother had said she would eat later. Lily knew that meant there might not be enough. She lifted her head and looked around. People walked past her. Some looked at their phones. Some talked to each other. Some looked at Lily and then looked away very fast. She did not know why grown-ups did that. She tried to smile sometimes, but today she did not smile. Smiling felt heavy. She thought about her mother. Her mother had been lying down when Lily left the room. Her face was pale, and her eyes were closed but not sleeping. Lily had brought her the water and put it near her hand. Her mother had said, "Be careful, Lily. Stay close." Her voice was soft, like it might break. Lily had nodded. She always nodded. But the problem was bigger than staying close. The landlord had come again in the morning. Lily had been behind the door, quiet like a mouse. The man's voice was loud. He said words Lily did not like. "Last warning," he said. "No more waiting." When the door closed, her mother had slid down to the floor and put her face in her hands. Lily had not cried. She never cried in front of her mother. She had just stood there feeling something hard inside her chest. Now that hard thing was still there. Lily looked at the folded paper again. She did not know all the words on it, but she knew what it meant. It meant help, or it meant nothing. She was not sure. She shifted her weight from one foot to the other. Her legs felt tired. She wished she was at school, sitting at her desk, drawing houses with big windows and trees that were always green. At school, things made sense. Bells rang. Teachers smiled. Food came at the same time every day. Here, nothing came. A black car stopped across the street. It was shiny like the ones Lily saw on TV. The windows were dark. A man stepped out. He wore a long coat even though it was not very cold. His shoes were clean. His hair was neat. Lily watched him without meaning to. He stood straight like he was used to people listening to him. Another man came out of the car and said something to him. Lily could not hear the words, only the sound. The man nodded once. Lily felt small again, smaller than before. She told herself not to look. Rich people did not look at girls like her. She had learned that too, but her eyes stayed there. The man walked toward a tall building with glass doors. The doors opened by themselves. Lily took one step forward, then stopped. Her heart beat fast. Her hands were wet. She thought about her mother on the floor. She thought about the empty kitchen. She thought about the paper in her bag. What did a child do when grown-ups could not fix the problem? Who did a little girl ask when her world felt like it was falling apart? The man was almost inside the building now. Lily took a breath. It was a small breath, but it was enough. She tightened her fingers around the bag and looked up at the stranger in the long coat, just as he turned his head slightly as if he felt someone watching him. Lily woke up before the sun because her mother's coughing woke her up. The sound came from the corner of their small room, sharp and dry like something scraping inside a box. Lily opened her eyes and stayed quiet. She listened to see if the coughing would stop. It did not stop right away. Their room was one space that tried to be many things. One side was a bed, the other side was a small table with two chairs that did not match. Near the window was a single shelf with cups, a jar of rice, and a few cans. The bathroom was down the hall, shared with other people. Lily did not like going there at night because the hallway light flickered and the floor always felt wet. She sat up slowly, careful not to shake the bed too much. Her mother lay on her side under a thin blanket. Her hair was messy and her face looked tired even when her eyes were closed. Lily stared at her mother's hands. They were rough from work, but her nails were clean. Her mother always tried to keep her nails clean. Lily thought that meant her mother still cared about being normal. Lily slid off the bed. The floor was cold. She reached for her sweater and put it on. It smelled like soap because her mother washed their clothes by hand when she could. Lily tied her hair with a small rubber band that had been stretched too many times. A few pieces of hair still fell over her forehead. She walked to the table and looked at the jar of rice. The jar was almost empty. She did not touch it. She knew better. Instead, she poured a little water from the bottle into a cup. The cup was chipped on the side. She carried it to the bed and whispered, "Mom." Her mother's eyes opened slowly. Her pupils looked dull, like she was far away. When she saw Lily holding the cup, she tried to sit up but stopped and held her chest. Don't worry," her mother said, forcing a small smile. Lily put the cup near her mother's hand. "Drink." Her mother drank a little and coughed again. She leaned back, breathing carefully. Lily watched her mother's face the way a child watches the sky before a storm, trying to guess what will happen next. "Are you going to work?" Lily asked softly. Her mother's job changed often. Sometimes she cleaned offices at night. Sometimes she washed dishes at a small restaurant. Sometimes she did nothing because there was nothing to do. Lily learned not to ask too many questions. Questions made her mother's eyes look sad. Her mother shook her head. "Not today." Lily did not like that answer. Not because she wanted her mother to work. Because not today meant no money. No money meant the landlord's voice loud and angry, and the hard look on his face when he pointed at the door. Lily nodded anyway. She always nodded. Her mother reached out and brushed Lily's cheek with the back of her fingers. "You're a good girl," she whispered. Lily wanted to say, "I don't want to be good. I want to be safe." But she did not say it. She did not know how to say it in words. She went to the small shelf and took out a piece of bread from a plastic bag. It was not fresh. She broke it in half and put one half on the table. Then she broke her half again and put the bigger piece on the table too. When her mother saw it, she frowned. "Lily, I'm not hungry," Lily lied. Her mother looked at her for a long moment. Then she turned her face away like she was trying not to cry. Lily hated that. When adults cried quietly, it made Lily feel like she had done something wrong, even when she had not. Later, when the sun came up, Lily washed her face with cold water from the sink in the hallway. She brushed her teeth fast because the water was freezing. She walked back to the room and put on her school uniform. The uniform was secondhand and a little big, but Lily liked it because it made her feel like other kids. Her mother stood up slowly, holding the wall for balance. She walked to the door with Lily and handed her a lunchbox. It was light. "There's rice," her mother said. Lily opened it a little and saw a thin layer of rice, no meat, no egg. She closed it quickly. "Okay." Her mother bent down and fixed Lily's collar. "After school, come straight home. Don't go anywhere else." Lily nodded. "Yes, Mom." Her mother hesitated, then added, "And if the landlord comes, don't open the door." Lily's stomach tightened. She nodded again, even though it made her feel small. "Okay." Outside, the city moved like it always did, fast and loud. Lily walked to school holding her bag strapped tightly. She passed the same street corner with the fruit seller. The fruit looked bright, but Lily knew she could not ask. She passed the same cafe where people sat inside drinking coffee that smelled sweet. She passed the same big buildings where adults went in and out wearing nice clothes. At school, Lily tried to act normal. She smiled when her friend Mia showed her a new pencil with a cartoon on it. Lily said it's nice even though she felt a little jealous. Mia did not mean to show off. Mia was just happy. In class, the teacher asked them to draw their family. Lily stared at the paper for a long time. She drew herself and her mother holding hands. She drew their small room like it was bigger than it was. She drew a window with sunlight coming in, even though their window faced another building and did not get much sun. The teacher walked around and stopped near Lily's desk. "Where is your father, Lily?" the teacher asked gently. Lily's hand froze. She did not know how to answer. She did not even know what the truth was. Her mother never talked about him. When Lily asked once long ago, her mother had gotten quiet and said he's not here. That was all. Lily shrugged and whispered, "I don't know." The teacher did not push. She just patted Lily's shoulder and moved on. Lily stared at the blank space on her paper where a father could have been. At lunch, Lily sat with Mia and two other girls. Mia opened her lunchbox and showed a sandwich and an apple. Lily opened hers and quickly closed it again because she did not want anyone to see. Mia noticed. "You don't want to eat?" Mia asked. Lily forced a smile. "I'm saving it for later." Mia nodded, accepting it. Kids often accepted things they did not understand. That was one of the few soft things in the world. After school, Lily walked home. The sky was gray and the air smelled like rain. She was halfway to their building when she saw something that made her stop. The landlord stood near the entrance talking to another man. They both looked up when Lily approached. The landlord's eyes were cold. Lily's heart jumped. She turned her body a little like she might change direction, but the landlord spoke first. "Tell your mother," he said loudly, "this is it. Tonight, if she doesn't pay, you're out." Lily's throat went tight. She nodded fast because that was what she always did. She walked past him and into the building, her hands shaking. She climbed the stairs quickly, 2 steps at a time, like she could outrun his words. When she reached their door, she remembered her mother's warning. "Don't open the door if the landlord comes." But her mother was inside. Lily pushed the door open and went in. Her mother was sitting at the table with her head down. When she saw Lily, she tried to smile but failed. "He came, didn't he?" her mother asked quietly. Lily nodded. Her eyes burned, but she did not cry. "He said tonight." Her mother closed her eyes. For a moment, she looked like she might fall apart. Then she sat up straight like she was forcing herself to be strong. "I'll figure something out," her mother whispered, but her voice did not sound sure. Lily stood there holding her school bag, feeling like the room was shrinking. "What if we can't?" Lily asked very softly. Her mother's face changed. "Lily, don't say that." "But what if?" Lily pressed. Her mother swallowed hard. "Then we'll go somewhere else. We'll be okay." Lily did not believe it, not because she didn't trust her mother, because Lily had seen somewhere else before. She had seen people sleeping on benches near the station. She had seen children holding cups in their hands. She had seen eyes that looked empty. Lily sat on the floor near the bed and hugged her knees. Her mind started searching for answers the way a hungry stomach searches for food. There was one place her mother kept looking at, sometimes an old envelope inside a drawer. Lily had seen her mother take it out and stare at it like it hurt. One day Lily had asked, "What is it?" Her mother had said, "Nothing. Don't touch it." But that afternoon, while her mother lay down again, breathing heavy, Lily opened the drawer quietly. Her fingers found the envelope. Inside was a paper with a name and a company logo. There was also a number written in neat handwriting. Lily could not read everything, but she could read the company name because she had seen it on big billboards downtown. It was a famous company, a rich company. She stared at the number. Her heart beat fast again. It felt wrong to take it. It felt like stealing. But she was not taking money. She was taking a chance. She put the paper in her lunchbox and closed it. As the evening came, the building felt darker. The hallway light flickered more than usual. Lily's mother sat at the table with both hands around her head. The landlord's words hung in the air like a shadow. Lily walked to the window and looked at the street far below. Cars, people, noise, life. She thought, if I do nothing, we lose everything. Her mother did not know Lily had the paper. Lily was not sure her mother would even let her try. Her mother would say, no, it's too dangerous. Her mother would say, we can't ask strangers. But Lily was 7 years old, and sometimes children did what adults could not, because children were desperate in a pure way. She took the paper out and looked at the number again, then folded it carefully and put it back into her bag. She remembered the billboard downtown, the glass building, the fancy cars. If that company was real, then someone there had power. Someone there could help. And if she could not call, then she could go. That night, while her mother finally fell into a weak sleep, Lily lay awake listening to the city. Her eyes stayed open in the dark. She made a quiet promise to herself, the kind only a child could make. Tomorrow she would ask for help, even if she had to ask someone who looked like they lived in another world. And in the morning when she left the room, with the folded paper hidden in her bag, Lily did not know she was walking toward a stranger who would change her life. She only knew one thing: she could not let her mother lose their home. So she walked into the city searching for someone who might listen. The man woke up before his alarm because he always did. He lay still for a moment, staring at the white ceiling above his bed. The room was quiet, too quiet. No voices, no footsteps, no one calling his name. He sat up and rubbed his face with both hands. His apartment was high above the city. From the windows he could see buildings, streets, and moving lights that looked small and far away. People lived down there. Real people. He often forgot what that felt like. His name was Daniel Wright. The bed was wide enough for 3 people, but only one side was ever used. The other side stayed smooth, untouched, like it belonged to someone who never came back. Daniel stood up and walked to the window. He looked out without really seeing anything. He was a rich man. Everyone knew that. His company's name was on buildings, buses, and billboards. People spoke his name with respect, sometimes fear. When he entered a room, others stood up straighter. When he spoke, people listened. But in the mornings, none of that mattered. He went to the bathroom and turned on the shower. The water was hot, just the way he liked it. As he stood there, he closed his eyes. His mind drifted like it always did to places he tried not to go. A small apartment, a woman with tired eyes, a baby crying in the next room. Daniel opened his eyes quickly and shut that memory down. He told himself it was the past. It was over. He had made choices. Life moved forward. After dressing, he stood in front of the mirror and fixed his tie. His face looked calm, controlled. People said he looked younger than his age. They said power suited him. No one asked him if he slept well. His phone buzzed on the counter. A message from his assistant reminded him of meetings, calls, and a charity event in the evening. Daniel read it and sighed. Charity events always made him uncomfortable. Too many smiling faces, too many stories that felt rehearsed. He grabbed his coat and keys and left the apartment. Down in the garage, his driver waited beside the black car. Daniel nodded once and got in. As the car moved, he stared out the window. The city passed by like a movie he had seen too many times. They stopped at a red light near an old neighborhood. Daniel noticed the buildings were lower here, older, paint peeling, windows cracked. He did not come to this area often. A child stood near the corner, holding her school bag. She was small. Her sweater looked thin. Daniel glanced at her, then looked away. The light turned green. At the office, the glass doors opened for him. People greeted him as he walked by. "Good morning, Mr. Wright." "Morning. Your 10 o'clock meeting is ready. Thank you." His day filled up fast. Numbers, contracts, decisions that moved millions. He spoke clearly and firmly. He was good at this. This was the world he understood. Still, something felt off. During a break, he stood alone in his office and stared at the city below. He felt a strange pressure in his chest, like something unfinished was trying to get his attention. He shook it off. At noon, his assistant knocked. "Sir, about the old legal files you asked for. They're still in storage. It may take time to retrieve them." Daniel stiffened. "How much time?" "Maybe a few days." He nodded. "Fine. Bring them when you can." When the door closed, Daniel sat down heavily. He had not thought about those files in years. He was not sure why he had asked for them now. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was just age catching up with him. His phone buzzed again. A call from an unknown number. He ignored it. The rest of the day passed slowly. Meetings blurred together. Words lost their meaning. When evening came, Daniel left the office earlier than planned. He told his driver to take a different route home. The car slowed near the same old neighborhood. Daniel leaned forward, slightly looking out. Near the bus stop, he saw a child. The same child. She stood very still, holding a plastic bag. Cars rushed past her. She looked lost. Not playing. Not waiting for someone. Just standing. Daniel frowned. Something about the way she stood caught his attention. She looked like she was thinking very hard about something no child should have to think about. The car stopped nearby because Daniel raised his hand. "Wait," he said. The driver hesitated. "Sir, just a moment." Daniel opened the door and stepped out onto the sidewalk. The cold air hit his face. The city sounds felt louder down here. He walked slowly toward the bus stop. The child noticed him. She lifted her head, her eyes wide and careful. She did not smile. She did not run away. She just watched him like she was deciding something important. Daniel stopped a few steps away. He felt awkward. He was not used to talking to children. He cleared his throat. "Are you waiting for someone?" he asked. The girl shook her head. Up close, he could see her face clearly. Dirt under her nails. Hair tied back with a worn band. Big eyes that looked too serious for her age. Something tightened inside him. She looked down at the plastic bag, then back up at him. Her hand shook a little. Daniel had the strange feeling that this moment mattered even though he did not know why. The city moved around them, busy and loud, but for a second it felt like only the two of them were there. And as the girl took a small step toward him, gathering courage that should not have been needed at 7 years old, Daniel had no idea that the world he thought he understood was about to change. Lily's heart beat so loudly that she thought the man could hear it. He was taller than she expected. Up close, he smelled clean, like soap and something else she could not name. His coat looked warm and heavy. Everything about him felt solid. She looked down at her shoes first. Then she remembered why she was here. Her fingers tightened around the plastic bag. "Mister," she said. Her voice came out small, too small. She swallowed and tried again. "Mister, I need help." Daniel did not answer right away. He was not sure what he had expected her to say, but it was not that. He looked around as if someone else might appear. No one did. "What kind of help?" he asked carefully. Lily reached into the bag and pulled out the folded paper. She held it with both hands like it might fly away. She did not offer it yet. She just held it. "My mom is sick," she said, "and we might lose our house." Daniel's chest tightened. He did not like how direct that was. Children usually ask for small things. Candy, a ride. This was not small. "Where is your mother?" he asked. "At home," Lily said. "She can't stand up for long." Daniel shifted his weight. He told himself to stay calm. He had learned not to react to emotional stories. People lied. People exaggerated. He had been taught that long ago. Still, something in the girl's eyes made him pause. "Why are you asking me?" he asked. Lily's face flushed. She looked embarrassed, like she had been caught doing something wrong. "I saw your name," she said. "On the building. On the paper." She finally held the paper out to him. Daniel took it without meaning to. His eyes moved over the page quickly. His company logo. An old contact number. His name. His breath caught for half a second. "Where did you get this?" he asked. "My mom had it," Lily said. "She doesn't like it. It makes her sad. But I thought maybe it meant you could help. Daniel felt a strange wave of discomfort. He did not know why. The paper felt heavier than it should. Lily, he said, surprised to hear her name on his lips. He had asked earlier, and she had told him. This is not how things usually work. Lily nodded fast. I know. I'm sorry. She looked down. Her shoulders slumped. For a moment, she looked like she was about to cry. Daniel felt panic rise in him. No, he said quickly. You don't need to apologize. He took a breath. He looked at the girl again. Really looked. She was not asking for herself. She was asking for her mother. That was clear. There was no greed in her face, only fear. Where do you live? He asked. Lily hesitated. Her mother had told her not to talk to strangers, but her mother was not here, and this stranger was already listening. She told him the street name and the building number. Daniel nodded slowly. He felt trapped between logic and something deeper. He could walk away. He should walk away. He had people who handled things like this. Assistants, social workers, lawyers. But his feet did not move. Can you wait here for a moment? He asked. Lily nodded again. Daniel stepped aside and made a call. His voice was low. He asked questions. He gave instructions. He listened, then ended the call. When he turned back, Lily was still there, standing exactly where he had left her. All right, he said. I'll help. Her eyes widened. You will, yes, he said, surprising himself. I'll make sure you and your mother have a place to stay, and food, and we'll see about her health. Lily stared at him like he had just said something magical. Really, she whispered. Yes. She smiled then. It was small and shy, like she was afraid it might break if it got too big. Thank you, she said. Thank you so much. Daniel felt something warm spread through his chest. It scared him a little. He offered his hand. Do you want to ride home? Lily looked at his hand, then at his face. She nodded and took it. Her hand was tiny in his, light, fragile. As they walked toward the car, Daniel felt a strange pull he could not explain. He told himself it was nothing, just a good deed, just one moment. But as Lily climbed into the back seat holding her bag tightly, Daniel sat beside her instead of in the front. He did not know why he chose that. The car pulled away from the curb. Neither of them knew it yet, but a line had been crossed. A choice had been made that could not be undone. And somewhere deep inside Daniel, something long buried had begun to stir. The car felt like another world to Lily. The seats were soft and smelled clean. The windows were big and the city outside looked different through the glass, quieter somehow. Lily sat very straight, afraid to touch anything she should not. She held her plastic bag on her lap like it was a shield. Daniel watched her from the corner of his eye. She did not fidget. She did not ask questions. She did not press her face to the window the way most children would. She sat like she was a guest who did not want to be noticed. That alone told him more than words could. When they stopped at a traffic light, Lily finally spoke. I can tell you where to turn. Daniel nodded. All right. She gave directions in a soft voice. Left, right, straight. Each word careful. When the buildings changed from tall glass to older concrete, Lily relaxed just a little. This was her world. Not pretty, but familiar. When the car stopped in front of her building, Lily hesitated. My mom doesn't know, she said. About you. That's okay, Daniel replied. We'll talk to her together. Lily nodded, but her stomach twisted. They walked up the stairs. Daniel noticed the peeling paint, the dim lights, the smell of old water. He had not been in a place like this for years. Each step felt heavier. Lily opened the door quietly. Mom, she called. Her mother sat at the table, her back hunched, her hands shaking slightly as she held a cup of water. When she saw Lily, relief flashed across her face. Then she noticed Daniel standing behind her daughter. Her expression changed. Lily, she said sharply, standing up too fast. Who is this? Lily turned around, suddenly unsure. He, he's helping us. Daniel stepped forward. My name is Daniel Wright. Your daughter came to me today. She said you needed help. The woman stared at him like she had seen a ghost. For a moment, Daniel thought she might faint. I didn't ask for help, she said, her voice tight. I know, Daniel replied gently. She did. Lily looked between them, confused by the tension. She reached for her mother's hand. Mom, please don't be mad. Her mother looked down at Lily. Her eyes filled with tears she tried to hide. I'm not mad, she whispered. I'm scared. Daniel cleared his throat. I've arranged for you to stay somewhere safe for now. A small apartment. It's close to a clinic. A doctor can see you tomorrow. The woman's head snapped up. No, we can't, please, Daniel said. Just for tonight. Silence filled the room. Lily felt like she could hear her own breathing. Her mother finally sank back into the chair. She covered her face with her hands. When she spoke again, her voice was broken. I didn't want her to do this. Lily stepped closer. I didn't know what else to do. Her mother pulled Lily into her arms and held her tightly. You shouldn't have to. Daniel watched them, his chest aching. They left the building that evening with 2 small bags. Lily walked between her mother and Daniel, holding both their hands. The night air felt cold, but Lily felt warm inside. The new apartment was not big, but it was clean. There was a bed for Lily, a real bed. There was food in the fridge. Lily opened it and gasped softly. Mom, she whispered. Look. Her mother sat on the edge of the couch, overwhelmed. She looked at Daniel. Why are you doing this? Daniel did not have a good answer. He thought of money, responsibility, kindness. None of them felt true enough. I don't know, he said honestly. It just felt wrong not to. That night, Lily lay in her new bed staring at the ceiling. It was smooth and white. No cracks, no stains. She felt strange, like she was dreaming. Daniel stood in the doorway for a moment, watching her. Good night, Lily. Good night, she said, smiling. As days passed, things changed. Lily's mother saw the doctor. She got medicine. She rested. Color slowly returned to her face. Lily went to a new school nearby. She got a lunchbox that was full. She made new friends. She laughed more. Daniel visited often. Sometimes he brought groceries. Sometimes he just sat and talked. He listened more than he spoke. Lily grew used to him. She showed him her drawings. She told him about school. She asked him why his office building was so tall and if he ever got scared up there. He laughed when she asked that. A real laugh. It surprised him. Sometimes when Lily was doing homework at the table, Daniel would watch her quietly. He felt something pull at him, a feeling he did not understand, a need to protect, to stay. Was it normal to care this much about a child you had just met? One afternoon, as Lily walked with Daniel to the park, she slipped her hand into his without thinking. Daniel froze for a second, then gently held it. The sun was low. The air was calm. From a bench nearby, Lily's mother watched them, her face unreadable. Her hands trembled slightly in her lap. Daniel noticed. What is it? He asked her later quietly. She shook her head. Nothing. But Daniel felt it. The unease. The sense that something unspoken hovered between them. And somewhere deep inside, a question began to form, slow and dangerous. Why did this feel so familiar? Why did letting go of this child already feel impossible? The answer was still hidden, but it was getting closer. The first sign that something was wrong came on a quiet afternoon. Lily was sitting on the floor drawing with colored pencils. She was drawing a house again. This time the house was bigger. There were 3 people inside it. She gave them all smiles. Daniel sat at the table going through papers on his tablet. Lily's mother stood near the window, folding laundry slowly. She kept stopping like her hands forgot what to do. Daniel looked up. "You've been quiet today," he said. She did not answer right away. Then she said, "I need to ask you something." Her voice sounded tight. Daniel nodded. "Go ahead." She walked to the table and sat down across from him. She did not look at Lily. She kept her eyes on Daniel. "Why did you really help us?" she asked. Daniel blinked. "I told you. It felt wrong not to." "That's not enough," she said. Lily looked up from her drawing. "Mom, it's okay, Lily," her mother said quickly. "Keep drawing." Lily hesitated, then went back to her picture, listening anyway. Daniel leaned back in his chair. "What are you asking?" Her mother took a shaky breath. "People like you don't stop their lives for strangers. Not for free. Not like this." Daniel opened his mouth, then closed it. He had no answer that made sense. "I don't know," he said again. "I just care." She laughed softly without humor. "That's what scares me." Daniel frowned. "Why?" "Because if I let this continue, she thought the truth will come out." But she did not say that. Instead, she stood up and walked to the kitchen. Her hands shook as she poured water into a glass. Some spilled onto the counter. That night, Lily woke up to voices. She stayed very still in bed, her eyes open in the dark. "I can't keep lying," her mother whispered. Daniel's voice came next, low and confused. "Lying about what?" There was a long silence. Lily hugged her blanket. "You don't understand," her mother said. "You shouldn't be here." "Then tell me why," Daniel said. "Because none of this makes sense." Another pause. Then her mother said, "Do you remember a woman named Anna?" Daniel's breath caught. Lily did not know that name, but something in Daniel's silence made her heart beat faster. "Yes," Daniel said slowly. "Why, she was me," her mother said. The room felt very quiet. Daniel stood up. Lily could hear his footsteps. "That's not possible." "It is," her mother said. "You left. You thought I disappeared. But I didn't. I stayed. I tried to tell you." Daniel shook his head. "I searched for you. You searched the wrong places," she said. "And I was afraid. I was poor. I had a child coming. I thought you would take her away." Lily sat up in bed. "A child," Daniel's voice was barely a whisper now. "A child, yes," her mother said. "Our child." Lily's chest felt tight. She pressed her hand over her mouth. "No," Daniel said. You told me the baby was gone." Her mother's voice broke. "I said I lost the baby because I was scared, because you were powerful and I was nothing." Lily felt dizzy. The room spun slightly. Daniel stepped back like he had been pushed. Then, "Lily." Her mother did not answer. She did not need to. Daniel's world collapsed in that moment. He remembered the paper, the name, the number, the way Lily's eyes looked at him, the way her hand fit into his, the feeling he could not explain. It all rushed back at once. "Oh God," he whispered. Lily could not stay in bed anymore. She stood up and walked into the living room. Both adults turned toward her. "Mom," Lily asked softly. "Why are you crying?" Her mother rushed to her and knelt down. She pulled Lily into her arms, shaking. Daniel stared at Lily. His legs felt weak. He lowered himself into a chair. Lily looked at him confused. "Did I do something bad?" "No," Daniel said quickly. His voice broke. "No, you didn't." Her mother pulled back and held Lily's face in her hands. Tears ran freely now. "Lily, there's something you need to know." Lily looked between them. What her mother swallowed hard. "This man, Daniel, he's not a stranger." Lily frowned. "But I met him at the bus stop." "Yes," her mother said. "But before that, before everything, he was part of our lives." Lily turned to Daniel. How Daniel stood up slowly and walked toward her. He knelt down so they were at the same level. His hands trembled. "I didn't know," he said. "I swear I didn't know." Lily's heart pounded. She felt scared now. Adults were not supposed to look this broken. "Know what?" she whispered. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "That I'm your father." The word felt heavy in the air. Father. Lily had heard that word at school, on TV, from other kids. It had never belonged to her. She stared at him. No, she said quietly. My father isn't here. Daniel nodded, tears falling. You're right. I wasn't. And that's my fault. Lily stepped back, hiding behind her mother's arm. Her mind tried to understand, but it felt too big. You said you didn't know me, Lily said. I didn't, Daniel said. Not like this. But every time I looked at you, something felt familiar. I didn't understand why. Lily's chest hurt. So, when I asked you for help, Daniel closed his eyes. I was helping my own child, and I didn't even know it. Silence filled the room. Lily's world shifted. The stranger was not a stranger. The help was not just kindness. The truth stood between them, heavy and real, and nothing would ever be the same again. The room stayed quiet for a long time. Lily did not cry. She did not scream. She just stood there holding her mother's sleeve, staring at Daniel like he might change back into a stranger if she blinked. A father. The word felt strange, like a shoe that did not fit. Daniel stayed on his knees. He did not try to touch her. He did not move closer. He waited like he was afraid one wrong move would make her disappear. I didn't leave you, he said softly. Not because I wanted to. I didn't know you were alive. Lily looked at her mother. Is that true? Her mother nodded, tears running down her face. Yes, I was scared. I made mistakes. Lily's hand shook. So, you knew him before? Yes, her mother whispered. A long time ago. Lily tried to remember a time before now. Before the old room. Before the broken chair. There was nothing. Just her mother. Always her mother. She turned back to Daniel. Why didn't you come? Daniel swallowed hard. Because I was told you were gone. And because I was young and stupid and I believed it. Lily felt something hot rise in her chest. I was here, she said. Her voice was louder now. I was always here. Daniel nodded. I know, and I will carry that with me forever. Lily did not like that answer. It felt too big, too heavy. She did not want him to carry pain. She wanted him to fix things. So, are you staying? She asked. The question hit Daniel harder than any accusation. Yes, he said, without hesitation. If you'll let me. Lily looked down at the floor. She thought about the nights her mother cried quietly, the days she felt hungry, the bus stop, the paper, the stranger who helped. Her voice came out small again. I don't know how to have a father. Daniel's eyes filled again. Neither do I. Her mother knelt beside them. We can learn, she said, together. That night Lily did not sleep much. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, listening to the sounds of the apartment. Daniel had stayed. He slept on the couch. She knew because she heard him move once, like he could not get comfortable. Every sound felt new. In the morning, Lily came out of her room slowly. Daniel sat at the table holding a cup of coffee he had not touched. He looked up when he saw her. Good morning, he said carefully. Lily nodded. Morning. She walked to the table and sat down across from him. They sat there in silence for a moment. Can I still call you Daniel? She asked. Yes, he said quickly. You can call me whatever you want. She thought about it. Okay. Over the next days, things felt awkward. Daniel tried too hard sometimes. He asked Lily what she wanted to eat, what she wanted to wear, what she wanted to do. Lily got tired of answering. Her mother noticed. One evening, she pulled Daniel aside. She doesn't need perfection, she said. She needs time. Daniel nodded. I'm afraid of failing her again. You will, her mother said gently. But you'll be here this time. Slowly, things softened. Daniel walked Lily to school. He waited outside the gate until she went in. Lily did not tell her friends who he was. She just waved. One afternoon, Lily fell while running in the park. She scraped her knee. It hurt, but what scared her more was the sudden memory of falling before with no one to help. Daniel ran to her immediately. He lifted her carefully and held her while she cried. He did not tell her to stop. He did not tell her to be brave. He just held her. That was when something inside Lily loosened. At home that night, Lily brought her drawing to the table. It was the same house as before. This time she drew 3 people holding hands. She slid it toward Daniel. "This is us," she said. Daniel looked at it for a long time. His hands shook as he held the paper. "Thank you," he whispered. The past did not disappear. There were hard talks, regrets, tears, but there were also small moments. Breakfast together, walks, quiet laughter. One evening, Lily sat between her mother and Daniel on the couch. She leaned her head against Daniel's arm without thinking. He did not move. Outside the city, lights flickered softly. Inside, something broken had begun to heal. Not perfectly, but honestly. And for the first time, Lily felt something new and gentle settle in her chest. Safety. Spring came slowly that year. Lily noticed it in small ways first. The air felt lighter in the mornings. The trees near her school showed tiny green leaves. People stopped wearing heavy coats. The world looked less tired. Life felt different now. They moved again this time, not because they had to, but because they chose to. The new home was not as big as Daniel's apartment in the sky, and not as small as the room they had lost. It was somewhere in between. Lily liked that. It felt balanced. She had her own room. The first night she lay on her bed and listened. No shouting, no coughing from the other side of the room. No fear that someone would knock on the door and tell them to leave. She slept all the way until morning. Daniel learned how to be present. He learned to wake up earlier, not for meetings, but to make breakfast. Sometimes he burned the toast. Lily laughed when that happened. He learned which cereal she liked and how much milk she wanted. He learned that she did not like loud voices and that she always checked her bag twice before leaving the house. He went to her school meetings. He sat in the small chair that was too low for him. He listened. Lily watched him from across the room, unsure at first. Then slowly she stopped checking so much. She started believing he would still be there. Her mother grew stronger. The medicine worked. She found steady work at a small library. She smiled more. The deep worry in her eyes softened. Sometimes late at night, Lily heard her mother and Daniel talking quietly. Not arguing, just talking about the past, about fear, about forgiveness. Lily did not understand all of it. She did not need to. One afternoon, Lily came home from school holding a piece of paper. "Daniel," she said, standing in the doorway of his office at home. He looked up. "Yes, we have Father's Day at school," she said. "You don't have to come if you don't want to." Daniel stood up slowly. "Do you want me to?" She thought for a moment. Then she nodded. "Yes." On the day of the event, Daniel stood among other parents. Some laughed loudly. Some looked tired. Some held phones. Daniel felt nervous in a way he never had at business meetings. Lily walked onto the small stage with her class. She searched the crowd until she saw him. When their eyes met, she smiled. Daniel's chest filled. Later, when Lily came running to him, she held his hand tightly. "You came," she said, like she had expected him not to. "I'll always come," he said. That night, Lily sat on her bed drawing again. Daniel knocked softly on her door. "Can I come in?" "Yes." He sat on the edge of the bed. Lily held up her drawing. It was a house bigger than before. 4 windows, a tree, 3 people. One of the people was taller now. "That's you," she said, pointing. Daniel smiled. "I guessed." She hesitated, then asked, "Can I call you Dad?" The word felt less heavy now. Still important, but not scary. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. He nodded. "If you want to." "I want to," she said. He pulled her gently into his arms. Lily rested her head against his chest. She could hear his heartbeat. Strong, steady. It felt real. Life was not perfect. There were still questions. Still moments of sadness for time that could not be returned. But Lily no longer felt like she had to carry the world alone. Sometimes at night she thought about the bus stop, the plastic bag, the folded paper, the stranger she had asked for help. She did not understand how the world worked. She only knew that one brave moment had changed everything. And maybe that was enough, because sometimes the smallest voices ask the biggest questions, and sometimes the answers come from the most unexpected places. Lily closed her eyes, safe in her bed, in her home, with her family finally whole.